right, we're back.
All good?
All good, all good. I'm actually walking to the train station right now, but it's all good. Like, no problems. Can you hear me though?
Yeah, all good.
Okay, awesome. So yeah, we're talking. You're saying like you want to talk about like systems and like scaling and all that, right?
Yeah. I mean, because we're pretty much, in the same ballpark of growth and all this. And,
Yep.
I think we can pretty much have an interesting conversation on how we do things because, I've got like a service
Yeah.
that's quite time intensive in terms of,
Yeah.
deliverables. So
Yeah. Yeah. By the way, you're recording all these, right? You can send it to me, and I can upload to my channel, right? Because like the way I upload my content, it's always like recycling and documenting like what's really happening. So yeah.
yeah, definitely.
Cool. Sorry, Kele, where are you based in? Like, is that how you pronounce your name? Kele, right?
Kele,
Kele, where are you based in?
at the moment in Hungary.
Oh, cool, nice. Yeah. Right. So, I've told you about my business. Like, how about you tell me about yours right now?
Yeah, so I basically help online businesses scale through YouTube organic and paid traffic. So
Okay.
pretty much at this point, it's like, depending on where they're at, we have SaaS companies that just want like
Okay.
calls booked for their business, or like more typical of education online business that we help
Okay.
just get sales call booked on autopilot with YouTube ads.
Okay.
And then we have more the organic side of things,
Okay.
where we help actually the entrepreneurs that are actually busy because they run a business and they don't have the time to and energy to focus on what content to make, how to shoot the content, how to edit it, so that they can actually
Okay.
focus on running the business and growing and scaling the YouTube organic part without, taking it, making it become the business when it's not.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Cool. That's cool. So, like, is there any like problems that you're facing in this journey?
No, like actually right now at the moment I'm at in a quite good spot,
Okay.
Uh,
Okay.
yeah, it just like we were talking about before, my concern is just like, I mean, it's not really a concern because we've been doing pretty well so far, but it's just like
Okay.
serving our customers at the best of our ability. And,
Yeah.
really delivering a world-class service to, just
Yeah.
like not be constantly on the wheel, but actually,
Yeah.
like building long-term partnership with our clients.
Yeah, man. I think the biggest problem that any sort of agency service that will face is definitely in the fact that how do they make the system replicable and how do they scale, right? Because it's so replicable and so easily applied across multiple industries and multiple clients. I think that's the biggest challenge that any agency service would face.
Yeah, definitely. Like, what do you use for systems? I guess you have some SOPs or some software that you use.
Yeah, so like in terms of our CRM, our customer relationship management system, we use Active Campaign, and then we hook that thing up into Zapier with basically like Google Calendar, right? So like all the things that I kind of use on the Active Campaign platform, like I can Zapier that thing up onto my Google Calendar. So like whenever I assign like, call this person or like WhatsApp this person or whatever the case might be, it just automatically links together with my Google Calendar. So I know that that's on my to-do list, right? And then another thing is like Asana, right, which is like a project management software that we use to like get a whole slew of tasks for a client. Each time we onboard a client, there's like a whole checklist for us to use. And then obviously we also have Calendly, which I think you are using also, the one with the booking of the appointments. And then you hook that thing up to Google Calendar. And then in terms of like the website, like we use WordPress, right, as a stack so that it's easy for us to create landing pages and whatnot for clients. So that's it. That's pretty much it.
Yeah, like I'm quite at the same point, but it's not like there's like 10,000 softwares to use. It's like Google Drive, Calendly, Actually, at the moment, I'm using Trello, but I'm not really, I don't really like it that much. I want to move to Asana, so that's like on my to-do list for this week.
Trello is pretty good though. Trello is pretty good. Like I've seen a lot of big organizations use it as well. Like I've seen like dental clinics like use Trello. I've seen like Peng Jun, the internet marketer guy uses it. So like I think Trello is good. It serves the same purpose, right? It does pretty much what Asana does. So I don't really see why you should change unless like structurally you think like Asana has something better than Trello.
Yeah, that's pretty much where I'm at the moment. I just feel like just like to give out tasks to team members or to myself, it's just easier to keep an eye on, because like Asana, because like pretty much the process we got is like, when we each client has a board for themselves for their content output and all this. And the problem that I'm seeing is that you're only going to see the task to do for one client at a time, and I would like that everybody in the team can have, an overall view on what's to do. And so let's say, I put some internal stuff to do for the team. I don't need to add something necessarily on the client board for my team to see it, but I can just put it on the team board, and everything is in one calendar as opposed to have like different things.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think that like the biggest kind of challenge, right, is like being able to synchronize the communication log, like in terms of what you have previously communicated to the clients. Like you also need to keep all your team members on the loop as well. I think that's like quite taxing, because each time I got to like copy and paste everything into like Asana, like the WhatsApp messages and all that. So like that's one of the things that I think is a bit time consuming, I guess, and a bit taxing. So like each time you get off the phone, you like document down what you speak with the client, what you speak to the client onto Asana as well.
Have you considered, because I guess you've got probably an onboarding funnel, right?
Yeah, I do. Yeah.
Because what I do is pretty much when I onboard a new client, I've got this like a Zapier automation that's just sending straight up the onboarding form to Slack, so that each and every time we need information on the client, we don't need to go through Asana, Trello and looking at information, but we can just go straight up into Slack and finding all of the info.
I think it's the same, because on Asana you can also pull up all the onboarding form and all that. It's the same thing. But yeah, I think like adding as many Zapier automations as possible is good. Like for instance, once you onboard a client, then like it automatically updates the client spreadsheet, right? Like to show which are the active clients, how much they are paying, so that like the quote unquote CEO dashboard is updated, so that you know all the numbers in your business. I think that's what I'm trying to work towards as well. Because right now I'm trying to I'm basically like manually updating everything. Like if every time I onboard a new client, like I'll manually type it inside the spreadsheet, which is not very good, I guess. So yeah.
I think I've seen something like that, for example, for Zoom meeting, you could plug it to some software and it would automatically do captions for the whole call. I don't know if you've heard about this.
I've not heard about this, but that's definitely very interesting. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I'll look it up. I think it's maybe Descript that allows to do this, but I'll look it up and just send it to you afterwards. Because since you mentioned that, after each call, you make a list of like the things that happen on the call and then you put it on Asana. If you had just like, the whole things typed out, it would be like easier for someone to come and review the thing, I guess.
Yeah, that's true. But I think all these SOPs are good. Because like if an account manager leaves or like somebody on the team is like not around, right, at least everybody else knows what the hell is going on with the campaign. So that's what I think needs to be done across all clients. But how's your business, man? Like how are you scaling? How many team members you got?
At the moment, I've got like let me think for a second. I've got like 2, and I've got like a third one that's more like really a freelance for like time-intensive tasks that actually don't require a lot of skills.
But VA, virtual assistant.
Yeah, pretty much. But she's really amazing and saving us a lot of time. But yeah, like actually most of our tasks because are like pretty straightforward. You know, it's not like for each client, the way we go about things is so different. Aside from YouTube ads client, because obviously if we write the script, we need to make it tailored to the client and all this. But when it comes to like YouTube organic, we've got something pretty good going on. So that when new content needs to be edited, it just like straight up and literally my chip gets on it, and I don't need to do anything else. So
what's the so do you guys do the video production for the clients?
No, we are fully remote. So we don't come and shoot. That's something we could consider, but just the opportunity cost of coming and shooting is actually too big for me to actually do it at the moment.
Okay, cool. All right, man. How many active clients do you have right now?
I believe 6, 7, something like this.
Okay. To be honest, I don't have that many as well. I got like probably about 20.
Yeah.
20 to 21 or whatever. But they're paying about like anywhere between $1,000 to $3,000 per month.
Yeah, I mean, I guess what I've been realizing lately, it's not so much about like the number of clients, but really more about like what kind of clients you work on. Because with the YouTube as client, since we can deliver a lot of value for these info product companies, it's really easier for us to generate more revenue for us, and also for them and for us, and make it more of an interesting partnership, as opposed to I don't know, working with a local company that's got a limited budget, and then you cannot do as many things. And also, since we don't have as much scale, most of the time it's a lot of back and forth, I would think, because you need to make sure that not everything's breaking, that you don't overspend, that everything's going good for them. While when you have like big clients that can afford to spend, I don't know, 10, 20, 30K monthly, if it works, it works. It's not like at the 29K of spend that you're like, oh, it doesn't work anymore.
I definitely agree with you. I also think that like it really depends on who you're trying to serve, right? If you're serving like the high ticket kind of people that are spending about 20K, 30K, 40K per month, it's gonna be a lot more. It requires a lot more time on their account as compared to like the ones that's like spending 1 to 2K per month in terms of ad spend. I completely agree with you.
Yeah, it's like a different game, because at the end of the day, once the campaigns are launched, and I think it's pretty similar whether you're on Facebook, Google Ads, or Facebook or Google Ads. The thing that takes the most time is actually launching the campaigns. It's not necessarily the management, unless everything's going wrong. But if you nail the campaign, like the offer is on point, the messaging is on point.
Yeah.
Once the campaign is launched, you're pretty much on autopilot, and I feel like maybe that's what's being the bottleneck at the moment for you in terms of scale. Well,
I definitely think like being able to deliver good work is also a challenge, because like we don't necessarily like restrict ourselves to a specific niche. If I were to serve purely like the financial services market, and I only serve like people that sell insurance, for example, my life would be a lot easier because I can just keep doing the same thing. But I definitely don't want to go down that route, because I think it's going to be very boring and it's going to be too cookie cutter, right? Although the money might be good, because like, I can do it like very, very easily. But the issue really boils down when like, it's just repeating and rinsing and repeating the same thing over and over and over again, and it's going to be very, very boring. And I think that the best marketer should in theory be able to market in like any industry, and that's what I aspire to do.
I mean, in a way it makes sense, I 100% agree with you, like there's no reason if you're a good marketer you shouldn't be able to advertise to almost any niche. But at the same time, you also have like a time cost of getting into a new niche, because what I've been seeing on some accounts I've been managing is, for example, like the dating niche or the wedding niche, divorce niche is like pretty different from, make money online, you know. And so
yeah.
I mean, while it's maybe not the most fun thing to, you know, just stick to one niche, that's also the most efficient. And, you know, I don't know, like how much I want my business to be fun, because I don't know, you know, because like if you end up like taking like 20 different clients in 20 different niche, and now it's taking you a lot of time, is it really worth it? Even though, you know, it's more fun.
Well, I think it's fine, because like at the end of the day, if I serve purely like, okay, let's say I was to I niche down to purely the service-based businesses, right? Let's say I don't touch e-commerce, then my focus would just be lead generation and not so much on e-commerce. I think that's fine, right? Because like it's almost certain that like once you deploy a sales funnel, it's almost guaranteed that you'll get leads, right? And then the next step is like, how do we consult the client to like close more sales through like proper sales processes, proper follow-up, proper objection handling and all that. So that's what we also try to add value to clients as well. Like I try to kind of go through their sales calls. I ask them to like record their calls, and then like we do role play as well, just out of
Yes.
goodwill. Like that thing is not even like documented on the contract, which I think I should do it really really soon. And then like helping them, because like the thing I find like is if you can generate as many leads as possible for them, but if they don't close, then it's pointless. So that's why I find like really really important as well. So I've decided to like just make sure that the client will be successful.
Yeah, that's something I've heard as well from people that have switched from, you know, service, local lead gen to ecom, is because, you know, when you work with ecom, well, you can actually control the whole, you know, sales process. And if it doesn't work, it's you. And if it works, it's also you, which I guess brings more complexity to you know, sales with like local lead gen or stuff where you actually have sales call. But at the same time, you know, there's money in complexity. When you sell like more complex prime, you also can get a bigger piece of the pie, because, you know, not as many people will be willing to dive into it.
Yeah, definitely. Which is why I decided to. I mean, right now, honestly, I do like a bit of both. I have like e-com clients, I have service-based businesses as well. But I think it's better if I start niching down to just service-based businesses instead of doing e-com. Because e-com, the thing about e-com is like sometimes you can't control their offer. Like their offer sucks, right? Like price points wise and all that. And the business owner is just not willing to give in, right? Because the bulk of the business owners, they are trying to optimize for profitability instead of like customer experience and whatnot, right? Because I just think they don't get it, right? They don't get like the whole idea of the cost of acquiring a customer and the lifetime value of a customer, no matter how hard I try to explain to them, right? They just want immediate gratification. They don't optimize for like delayed gratification. That's what I see what most business owners face.
But I
And
guess what you're talking about when it comes to e-commerce, you're talking mainly about e-commerce people based in Singapore that sell to Singapore market, right?
A bit of a mix though, because I get a lot of like leads that are like international as well, and then I decide not to take them up because like I don't think I'm not confident that I can market well for them, because like their offer sucks, right? Like it's just something that I see very very often in a lot of like business owners. Like the whole reason why they start a business is because they want to make profit, right? And that can't be the case, because there must be something that you can add value and that you are different from somebody else, right? Otherwise, it just doesn't make sense. So that's what I think.
Yeah, but I mean, Yeah, but at the same time, like if you look at a niche like clothing, you know, we could
Yeah.
make the argument that clothing is not necessarily bringing a lot of value to you know the final consumer's life. Yet people keep on buying.
Well, yeah, but it also has to kind of relook at the other things like, is there any money back guarantees, social proofs? How can you create enough desire for
Mm.
clothings? There must be something that's different, right? Like you can't like price that thing at like $80 and then suddenly expect like a whole bunch of people starting to buy the t-shirt at $80. That's not the way it works, right?
Yeah.
So other things, all things considered, like is there shipping included? Is there money back guarantees?
Mm.
All that
And so
kind of
you,
stuff. Like
and you found that to be quite difficult to work through with ecom people so far.
I think it's because like the margin is very tight,
Okay.
especially with like drop shippers. I think like all the drop shipping people, like it's very hard because they don't have an inventory and they don't order. Their profit margins are already chomped off, right? Just from like the delivery and everything. So it's very tough to work with like e-commerce clients that have very, very, very thin profit margins. That's what I think.
Mm. But what about like bigger e-com shops, let's say based in Singapore? Because I guess you have like some household names in Singapore.
Okay, so I don't really have any like crazy huge household names that I work with here, ecom, but like I definitely have. We can get like the ones that you saw on the website, but they typically are getting about like a 7 to 8 ROAS. I was outside, as you saw. My phone ran out of battery, but I'm back right now at home.
Uh, all good.
Let me set this thing up properly. All right, nice. So I'm back home. Okay, but yeah, where were we? We were at e-commerce, right? And
Yeah.
profitability for the store.
Yeah.
So basically, like my whole take is, uh, I get a lot of like leads that are like drop shippers that come in and like they want help. And then I just look at the profit margin and I'm like, the offer that they make, and I'm like, look, this thing, there's no way in hell I can help you because the profit margin is way too thin on this thing. And we just reject those clients.
Mm.
Yeah, I get a lot of them. I get like maybe like a few per week or something. But yeah.
Mm. That makes a lot of sense. And how much time do you think you spend at the moment just like nailing down, you know, offer messaging funnel for new clients in different niche at the moment?
Yeah, I think like we definitely spend a lot of the time on like the research phase. Like, we go into ask the clients like what is their unique selling proposition and what is it that the market suffers from, and then basically we go ahead and do the research for them as well. Like we go into like Google reviews, and we go into their Reddit threads, we go into like Amazon reviews and all that to find out like what exactly is it that the market wants. So like most recently we did one for like yoga mats and ab rollers and fitness equipment, and that thing like probably set us back by a few hours. But I think like at the end of the day, it gets easier each time you do more. Like the more exposed you are. Like for example, I have a florist client, right? Like once I know how to make it profitable for like the first florist, the second florist that comes in, it's a lot easier, right? And even in the florist space, like there's different niches in florists, right? Like the first florist could be like, okay, like we're doing more on like the grand opening flowers and like the condolences flowers, and then the second florist is like, okay, we're more on like the hand bouquets and like the wedding bouquets and all that, right? So
Man,
there's really like the sub niches within the niche. Does that make sense? So like that's what I think, and that to me is something that I am like constantly working on as well.
Yeah, tell me more about the florist niche. I'm going to drop everything and just like start a SMMA agency in the florist niche.
Yeah, like I think uh like using Facebook might not necessarily be the best. Like I think
Okay.
Google Ads is the best because like they have intent and then they are searching for the keywords. I think Google Shopping and Google Search Ads are probably the best for like flowers because like you can't like advertise like condolences flowers on Facebook, right? People don't like look at a Facebook and like, okay, like it's time to buy some flowers for someone that's dead, right? It doesn't work that way, right? It works when they search for it on Google, and that's what I think, man. Like, it's very intent based. Like for example, if it's like Mother's Day or Valentine's Day or Singles Day or whatever, like 11/11 or whatever, right? And then you like sell like flowers, like that might make sense if it's festive. If it's festive, you can advertise on like Facebook and Instagram and whatever. But like if it's not festive, it's very very hard for you to do something like that.
And that's so funny because everybody, on Facebook, I'm saying, I'm like, yeah, solar panel. I'm going to do, car retail, whatever. I mean, just so many things. But that's the first time I'm hearing, helping florists with sales. That's amazing, man.
Look, I definitely think like it's a different scale. Like you kind of like need to understand that florists um like they started the business, I think probably like from the angle like, okay, they like flowers and then like they sell the flowers because they find it like beautiful and whatnot. They're probably not trying to like optimize for like profitability right off the gate. Which I think is, of course, they have to make it sustainable. Like there must be a certain profit margin, and that's why I think like it's easy to work with them. You can try, you can give them a shot, but I think it's been a fun ride so far for me.
Yeah, it sounds like it, man. Like, yeah, I mean, I would never think like, about like the sudden niches between, each shop of things. And so what's like the biggest item generating money for florist?
I think the margin is like fatter in like the condolences and the grand opening flowers. Like typically when somebody like passes on, it's easy for someone to rip out their credit card and spend money there. I mean, I'm not trying to make this sound like an asshole or anything, but like that's just what it is, right?
No,
So
no, for real, for real.
yeah, yeah. It is what it
No,
is. Like I might even go ahead to like pick up the telephone and like start cold calling some funeral services. Right? Hey,
uh-huh.
are you guys looking to get more customers? Right? Like like I might actually just do that because like you think about like funeral services, like realistically, like they're probably like the most profitable if anything. Right? Because like people don't scrimp and save when it comes to like somebody's funeral. It's not even funny. Like that's where like the margins are fat enough to support digital marketing, right? So like it really depends on like what kind of niche you want to go into. And I might even do that. Like who knows? Like next week I might just pick up the telephone and start calling like some funeral services and start selling them stuff.
Prepare for your last day in advance and make sure that you have the best funerals ever.
Look, that like you can't like run Facebook ads for that. But you can definitely run like Google ads for that for sure.
Yeah.
Like I can tell like if you run search ads or you do like SEO for them, like that thing is probably is just gonna work. It's just gonna work. Yeah. Cause people are in the need for it. Like you know what I mean? Yeah, you don't even need like any lead magnets. You don't need like 5-step checklists for every funeral. Like you just make the offer, right? Like guaranteed funeral setup within 3 hours or have your money back.
Make
Done,
make sure
right?
make sure that your whole family remember your funerals as the greatest ever. I don't know.
Yeah, yeah. Like just make the offer up front. Like people will just buy. Like you don't even need like 5-step proven system. Like this is not make money online, right? This is like just right off the gate. They need it right now, and just go for it, right? It's like one of those like pest control services or like water plumbing services. Like
the toilet bowl is stuck and there's a whole bunch of shit there. Like they just want to get rid of it. Like they don't have time for a checklist or like a free report or an ebook or anything like that. You don't need all of that shit. It's different from Make Money Online. You just need to address the pressing issue that they're facing right now.
Yeah. And I'm just like so curious when it comes to the florist niche. Like, what's the usual profit margin? Because when I'm thinking about retail and like a shop like a flower shop, for example,
Yeah.
I keep in mind that flowers that have a short shelf time. Like if you cannot keep flowers for like 1 month and then sell them, right? So one of my questions that would come in my mind is like, how much are they actually going to profit? Because if you buy 1,000 flowers and they actually sell 200, are they still profitable even if you need to throw away 800?
All I can say is it depends on how well you want to optimize for profitability. I've seen like certain florists, like they just want to optimize for more profitability, then they basically like they have like very high profit margins of like 60%. And then there's some like, they throw in the delivery, they throw in the, the free gifts and whatnot. They probably are doing about 30%.
That's still solid.
Yeah. So it really depends on from business to business. But I definitely think like, a healthy margin could be between like anywhere between 30% to 60%. And you can still afford to spend on digital marketing. I think another thing is like, the better a business is able to afford like digital marketing is the better like the back end of the business is.
Yeah.
Right. Because the most unprofitable sale is definitely gonna be the first sale.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's the way I look at marketing in general and in terms of acquiring customers, cost of acquiring a customer. And then like I get all these like, big companies that come in like, I'm not gonna mention names, but like they come in and say like, oh, like that's not the way it works in my business, right? Like we in our business we don't look at cost of acquiring a customer, we don't look at lifetime value. I'm like, dude, you don't know what you're talking about. I'm like, every business, right? It really boils down to two numbers. Like number one is the lifetime value of a customer. Number two is the cost of acquiring a customer. It doesn't matter what business if you are in, right? And then there's like super duper specific niches like geometric engineering kind of shit. Like nobody searches for that shit, right? And then they're like, yeah, my business is different. Then I'm like, look, your business is so different that the number of customers that you're able to serve in the whole world is just going to be less than 100 anyways. So there's no point in you doing marketing. You might as well cold call the 100 clients that you can work with in the world. Yeah. So that's why I think like it's like they are not a good fit for marketing because they don't need marketing. They only have like 100 niches that they are serving. They might as well just cold call them and hammer them to death, right? So yeah.
And so, like the companies that you mentioned, that you said they're not looking at cost of acquiring customer, they don't look at lifetime value. What are they looking at?
Well, they are looking for like the shiny object thing, right? They're like, look, I want you to be able to drive traffic for Facebook, and my boss just wants to look at the number of clicks that you guys can give us, and the cheapest management fee. And then I'm like, why the hell does that shit matter? Like, what we're going for is ROAS, right? Return on ad spend and return on investment. Like, why the hell you care about the number of clicks you're getting? Nobody gives a shit about any of that. Like, and then I'm like, why don't you get your boss on the phone so that we can talk more about this? And then they're like, yeah, look, like my boss just wants to get a quotation and all that kind of shit. I'm like, look, that's not the way we work. All right, like you get on the phone, we see whether you're a good fit. If you qualify, we'll let you know. If not, we'll also let you know. So like, I don't know, like it's just a thing that I face with like the bigger companies, I guess. Like all these like 40, 50-year-old CEOs are like, what the hell is this guy talking on about, right? And then like, what's the cost of acquiring a customer? What's the cost per click? What's the cost per lead? What's the cost per consult? What's the cost of acquiring a customer? And then they have no idea. They've been running a business for 30 years, but they don't even know what's the lifetime value of a customer. And I'm like, how do you run a business for 30 years without understanding what LTV and CAC is? I mean, CAC being cost of acquiring a customer.
Yeah.
But yeah.
No, that's fine. I knew that, thanks. But
Yeah, yeah,
I guess it's more like, back then, like 30 years ago, I would say, people were just more used to doing like, referral stuff and, just like
yeah,
traditional type of marketing. And we just like,
yeah.
pushed through with this. And, it worked out. I guess probably if they didn't do marketing or if they did any marketing, it's, like brand marketing, like, yeah, let's spend 10,000 on advertising and, we're going to get views and we're going to get clicks and that's nice.
Yeah. Like, what
I
the
guess,
hell is that, right? Like, it doesn't make any sense.
yeah, but what my thoughts on that is like there's some industries that are just so over leveraged. For example, I'm thinking about the banking industry.
Yeah,
Like you get a client. It doesn't really matter what you spend to get the client because once you get the client, you make so much money out of the client. And so these kind of companies, I feel they just like overlook. They can afford to overlook a lot of stuff and still make it work because there's just like so much money coming in.
look, imagine that they did it the right way, like they do
Yeah,
it the legit way, and they understand the cost of current customer, and then they understand the LTV, and then they understand how much they can reinvest, right? Imagine how much better they would be, and how much market share they can grab out of the market. I mean,
yeah,
they're
man.
probably already getting the bulk of it, but it's like it's always the oligopoly, right? Like for example, in Singapore, like there's probably four major banks that take the financial services market, right? And then like it's just one or the other. Like there's probably like these three fighting each other, right? That's it. And they're all about like branding campaigns. They're like, oh, why don't we shoot this super sexy video and then like just launch it across like trains and billboards and whatnot, right? Imagine they just park that ad on Facebook and
Yeah,
Instagram and just hammer people all day thing. Like everybody would see that ad, right? Because they are the person that can spend the most to buy all the Facebook ad inventory and buy all the Instagram ad inventory,
yeah.
and they will win. They will just win, right? Imagine they did that instead of like putting it on like billboards and all that kind of shit. Which I
I
mean is
mean,
fine. Yeah.
I feel like, especially in the financial services, I don't know, are you familiar with Revolut?
Yeah, I know the card, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, the
Like,
card.
like they've been really killing it in Europe. I don't know how much of, their success comes from paid advertising, but their
Yeah,
service is just like that good that there's no way I would ever go back to, traditional banking because,
yeah,
if I've got a prime, I send a message in 5 minutes, I get a client.
yeah,
And when you have a service that just like that superior, you can do anything, like the offer is so good that you're going to end up having like people talking about you and it's going to work out, I guess.
yeah. Yeah, like the word of mouth business just goes around, right? So, definitely, I think like this is one of those cases where if you tweak the offer and the offer is good enough, like it doesn't really matter what you do, like the business will just come in, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah, it's like money exchange, but like better without like exchange rates and all that kind of shit.
Hmm. Yeah, no, definitely. Definitely. And so what do you think is like the next step for you in terms of, being able to just like manage your system processes and SOPs better for your team?
I think there is a lot of tweaks that I need to make in terms of going back to Asana and updating the workflow and also training my team and also being able to get everyone in the team up to speed in terms of like mindset like and marketing, because I think like digital marketing is like growing every day, right? Like if you're not updated, like you just fall behind, right? Algorithms are changing every day. We need to understand not just how the algorithms work, but like how the consumer mindset and consumers think. That's the biggest challenge for me right now on how do I systematize all the processes on Asana and being able to understand people in terms of like the consumers, so that we can really craft a very solid marketing message regardless of platforms, right? Because at the end of the day, the platforms don't matter, like
Yeah.
whether it's Instagram or Facebook or YouTube or LinkedIn or TikTok or whatever other new social media channel that's going to come out in the future. Like if you understand the way people think and the way your marketing message is being delivered, then I think you will be able to win regardless of the time that we're in.
And so,
So,
do you have currently like some kind of foolproof SOP that allows like anybody, even let's say they have like no knowledge in marketing, and just putting them through this process, they would be able to come with something that would be like 80% good, and then you could like improve it.
okay, so you're asking like for a client or like a team member that I onboard?
No, team member.
So like I guess like I can say this. So I recently bought Sabri Subi's Quantum Growth, right?
Yeah.
So I'll just feed that thing to the team member that I onboard.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because that thing literally outlays everything that somebody needs to know when it comes to marketing. So I think that's what I'll do. But you have read his book, right?
Yeah,
Sabri's.
I've read his book. Actually, it was featured on one of his YouTube videos.
Oh, which one was it?
I don't know. He just like, at some point he was reviewing ads, and I was like, hey, you know what? I'm going to send him one of my ads just for fun and see what he's going to say. And
Oh, that was you. Oh shit. Okay. I recall watching that video. Yeah, I recall watching that video. Oh, that's you. Yeah. Cool, man. Okay.
yeah,
Okay.
so I'm a bit
I
familiar with him.
okay. I remember that. I remember that. Yeah. I remember that video. Yeah. Okay. Cool. So do you manage to like make all the changes that he recommended?
So the thing is, at the moment, my team is quite clean, and I would like to keep it that way. So since I don't necessarily want to go in like 20,000 directions in terms of like the clients we work with, I just want to really nail it down for the clients that we got with, because especially since we got like some rough share deals with our clients, like if we just nail one or two offers for them, it's worth a lot. So I'd rather like focus on them, make a banger case study out of them, because like it's going pretty well already. Like for an info product offer, we get calls for like $50 per call, But I mean, it's not in the English speaking market. So, that's why also the costs are like pretty good.
Okay.
And yeah, like historically, we've been converting at a 10% conversion rate, which,
Okay.
like it sounds like, there's no reason why it wouldn't work. So, my focus right now is just like making sure that these clients are doing amazingly well, because like, if we scale them to 30K, 30K, 40, 50, 100K in ad spend monthly, that's a lot of revenue for the agency. And then I can, consider putting back the paid traffic on. But, at the same time, I feel like if you're able to, generate, let's say, a 5x ROAS on a 100K ad spend,
Mm.
most likely you won't really need to run ads to get clients, because like, at this scale, everybody will know you as the guy that's been able to do this, and you'll get a lot of credit and, case study that you can use to get other clients, either, organically through Facebook groups and all this, or, just like referrals. So, that's why my main focus at the moment, rather than trying to do paid traffic and all this, because I'm pretty sure I could cook up like an offer for like video editing for cheap and just break even on the first month for 1,000 per month offer on like unlimited video editing, and then I just make the profit on the second month. But I'd rather just focus on my core offer, because I know once I get it right, it's like perfect. Plus, like one of the things I had in mind is like, anyway, ideas don't matter much, but so I'll say it. But it's like, so I was at first selling like YouTube organic, right? But the prime is, unless you're already pulling decent revenue from your business, it's hard to pay anything. It's hard to pay YouTube organic, because it's hard to attribute directly revenue to YouTube videos, for the most part, unless you're using like a pretty good attribution software. So my thoughts is like, what about if we can actually play YouTube organic with YouTube ads, that we're actually able to take someone that got success on Facebook as cold traffic, selling a course or something, and we take them from 0 to like 10,000, 20,000 subscribers, because we know that if we get them to that point profitably, like that's a no-brainer of an offer, like we can charge pretty much any price we want, and like people will just be like, oh wow, let's go. And because we've got, you know, the skill set on the YouTube organic and the paid traffic, I felt like, you know, that's an offer that eventually I'll be able to pull off, you know, and I feel like I'm on a good track to be able to do this. So yeah, you know, that's where I'm at. That's why, you know, I'm not so much focusing on paid traffic and getting clients, because also my client pool is quite small. It's not like that small, you know, but it's not at, you know, I know if I just do the work and keep getting amazing results for clients, you know, like I'll just keep getting more and more clients, you know, so.
Yeah, I agree with you. I've seen a lot of like very niche specific agencies like in Singapore. Like I know a few, like they're just doing it purely for like the financial services and like the coaches and all that, and they get a lot of success because like they niche down specifically to that market, and they serve very like little clients, but they are still very profitable because you know, it's a very lean operation. It's super simple, and they get results. At the end of the day, clients hire you for the results, and if you deliver on results, it's all good. Doesn't matter like you know, how much you charge.
Yeah, 100%. And like, you know, the problem with like different niches, working with like too many niches, for example,
Yeah.
for YouTube ads is, so I'm still working with that YouTube ads agency, you know, just to get more hands-on experience and manage more accounts in different niches. And what I was saying is like, one of the guys is just like amazing. Like the guy has got like 10 different, more than that, accounts in like different niches. And the guy is able to get you the best script ever on like anything, you know. And when it comes to make money online, I know the market, you know, I'm able to write a pretty good script out of this, you know, but it's like, he showed me the video of a bracelet, and, you know, like the guy wrote, he had a sentence which went, "You cannot make something so beautiful without love." I was like, yo, man, that's such amazing copywriting, you know, like the girl, she's got a bracelet, the girl is pretty and all this, and she's like, "You cannot make something so beautiful without love." I'm like, wow, you know, like,
Okay.
and then it
All
goes
right.
from being able to write this to write
Yeah.
something like for some kind of martial arts program where, you know,
Okay.
it's like it puts like the kind of twist of like, you know, Navy SEAL comes back and teach you the, you know, the method that they don't teach you at the traditional dojo because it's too dangerous. But, you know, on a whole of a level, I'm like, wow, this guy is amazing, you know? And like, you know, to go back to the point that I was making, if you're a good marketer, you'll be able to promote any offer. I'm like, yeah, you know, like ideally I would want to be to that level that I'm confident I can
Yeah.
just, you know, make such amazing and compelling, you know, videos for anybody. But also it's like, you know, so much time that you spend in research and all this, because,
Yeah.
you know, making something like this, I'm like, you know, like I would need to spend like a good week, you know, just thinking, you know, like, I guess you're familiar with David Ogilvy and Eugene
Yeah.
Schwartz, right?
Yeah. David Ogilvy, Eugene Schwartz, and then we got Claude Hopkins,
Yeah.
right? So these are the godfathers in advertising, I guess. So yeah.
Yeah. And, you know, they're mentioning that, you know, sometimes it would take them like months, you know, just to come up with something like this, you know, and I feel like to be able to get this kind of, you know, script going, I would need to spend about that time, you know. I mean,
Yeah.
it sounds exciting, you know, but at the same time, just the time cost of doing it is just like too big that I cannot afford to, you know, get into that fun side of the projects.
Definitely. Yeah, but I think so. So what's next for you? Like, how do you think you're gonna scale up your agency?
Hmm. To me, I feel like the best way for me to scale while staying lean is just like, you know, having something that I can deliver a lot of value and just like get paid on revenue share, you know,
Okay.
plus a monthly retainer.
Yeah.
Because like at the end of the day, how much money you're going to make is just going to be limited by the clients you decide to take on.
Correct.
So if you decide to take on people that, let's say, you know, in the e-commerce space, they made like 10 million in revenue, or 100K in revenue, whatever, you know, like,
Yeah.
you know, if you take them, you're going to make money because they just have like so much cash flow that they can afford, you know, to be able to spend a good customer acquisition cost to get the client,
Yep.
and then upsell on the back end. So
Yep.
I feel like for me, especially I'm French, so it's not going to be a surprise if I'm telling you I'm working with French clients. But yeah, advertising costs are cheaper. There's a market for this, and if I'm able to take people that already have like success from like 0 to 100, it's like a no-brainer. I get someone from status of a no-brainer to a status of a pink June. It's like it's worth a lot of money.
Okay. So you mean like you literally takes, so that was like a coaching, or is it a done for you service?
No, done for you service.
Okay, but along the way you teach them, like you coach them, like how to close sales as well, or like how you get them to the Peng Joon level.
Out in the pension level, well, it depends, because also it just like ties back to what is the customer willing to do. Because if the guy is like, yeah, I just want to have everything on autopilot, I don't want to have a sales team, and obviously I'm going to tell him, hey, look, we can probably do this, but I need to tell you that if we are going to do this and run everything through an auto webinar, it's probably not going to convert as well if we just put the sales team on. It's going to be more complexity, but you need to understand that I'm going to try the auto webinar, and maybe it's not going to work, and you need to be willing at this time to change. So it's just like looking. It's not going to necessarily go through coaching on the side of the sales team, obviously, but it's if we work on a rev share deal, we need to be quite not demanding, but looking into what our client is doing to make sure that it works for both of us, because the goal is not that we spend a lot of money, no revenue generated, and then we still take our cut, but more that we really help them grow and get to that next point.
Correct. I definitely think like the number one thing that as agency owners, like we should focus on is definitely gonna be clients' results.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not in like building the next funnel to like get clients for our business. It's not about that. It's about delivering massive results for clients. And then all they can talk about is like, okay, like, this best SEO guy is like the best, right? Like he gets me the clients, and then he just starts referring to friends, and then more and more and more and more people just come in. And the referrals are the best clients, because when they come in, they're like half sold. They're like, you don't have to pitch anything. Like they're like, okay, I am in. Like just count me in, right? If you did it for like my friend, then you're probably gonna be able to do it for me anyways.
Yeah.
So the referrals are the best clients. By the way, how do you find it? You found me because like Sabri like uploaded the YouTube the Instagram thing, right?
Yeah. I saw that, and I researched you a little bit. I saw that you had a YouTube channel, so I was like, hey, let me send a message to that guy. I saw that your YouTube SEO wasn't like exactly on point, so I was like, hey, let me send him a cold message, and see how that goes.
Okay, cool. But yeah, it worked. It definitely worked. Cause like I started my business that way as well. I was like basically cold emailing like Loom video recordings to basically like small business owners in my city in Singapore. And then yeah, that's just how I started getting clients, and it worked. It works really
Yeah.
well.
At the beginning, have you read maybe Fanatical Prospecting?
Fanatical prospecting? No, I've not read that.
It's written by Jeb Blount, and pretty much his whole thing is like, prospecting is just like has been transformed in that kind of giant beast that's like so complex and so complicated. But at the end of the day, prospecting is simple. You need to interrupt your prospect days and talk to more people, and once you talk to enough people, you're going to get some people that are interested, and yeah, to me, it's just been realizing, that sure, like having paid traffic or cold outreach or anything, it's all the same at the end of the day. You just need to get a messaging powerful enough to get people to react to you, and get on your offer.
Correct. Yeah, I think I mean, I don't want to keep boiling it back to like Sabri Subi, but I think he spoke about this in his book, right? Like he said that he used to call like 150 businesses a day, and then yeah, it's all in the volume, right? Like out of the 150 people that call you, like there'll be some that ask you to fuck off, right? But there'll be some that just are willing to strike a conversation with you, and that's where you come in, right? And you add so much value that it's impossible for them not to want to do business with you.
Yeah, I was thinking, going back to the topic of like lifetime value and cost of customer acquisition, like why don't you just like sell like consulting service? You come for 1 or 2 days to big like companies in Singapore, and you just tell them how they can just like increase their revenue by 1 or 2%. I don't know, but for them it would be worth that much. And then you just upsell them on your service, but now they are sold on the fact that they need to have to check their lifetime value and customer acquisition cost.
Well, I think like the thing about trying to sell like consulting without selling like a done for you service, right? It is definitely possible, but it's not scalable. And the reason why it's not scalable, right, is because the information is all like stuck in my head. And then like each time we have to like go ahead to either like get on a Zoom call and then we have to do it the whole session and all that, and it's not quantifiable. Like the results are not quantifiable. Whereas for a done for you service, right? Okay, we can track exactly how many leads came in, exactly how many calls were booked, exactly how much revenue was generated out of the marketing campaign.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, so the problem with like the coaching thing is like people don't really want to buy something that is not like done for you, I guess. I mean, trust me when I say this, I've spoken to like hundreds of leads. There are people that come in and ask you like, hey, like Jim, do you like sell do you sell coaching services? Like, no, I don't sell coaching service. I sell a done for you service, and out of the done for you service, you get coaching. Like I can hop on Zoom calls to coach you, but you need to get it done for your service, and everything is included inside that thing. Like I'll do role plays with you, I'll do sales training with you, I'll do like the funnel building for you, write the copy and everything. So you might as well just get it, right?
Yeah, but I mean, like,
yeah.
if someone is like willing, let's say for whatever reason they want to build it in-house or something, and they're willing to just have the coaching with you, and I don't know, they do like 4-6 sessions, or even just like one, full day of like Zoom calls, and you charge them like 5, 10, 20, and at the end of the day, most likely they're going to see that it's too much for them to be able to implement it, and then you can just upsell them on working with your agency one-on-one, on a done for you level, and have basically the the consulting offer as the entry offer to you actually working with your agency, just like random funds.
Well, I think the problem with like the consulting thing, like I said, right, is the fact that it's already given in the strategy session. Like in the strategy session, I literally break down all the unit economics of their business, like LTV, CAC, cost per lead, cost per consult, and lifetime value of a customer. I break down all those things already, and the roadmap is very, very clear in the strategy session and the deck that I present to them. Like everything is inside there. So like there really isn't anything else that we need to talk about, unless it's like training their sales team and like how to handle objections and all that kind of shit. So I think the fact that it's already covered makes it even harder for me to try to sell that, because it's covered in the deck, and I literally just send them the whole deck and say like, look, it's either option number 1, you do it yourself, or option number 2, you hire someone that can get this whole thing done up for you, right? We've tested and proven to have already done it before. So which is it gonna be? Yeah, and usually they just like, oh, okay, I want to think about it, or like, okay, like I don't have the money right now, that kind of shit. So yeah. But usually it's the latter. Like they usually like want to think about it, and they usually like want to drag it on, and like I think it's too expensive, or like I don't see the value, or I want to speak to my business partner, I want to think about it. It's usually all the same excuses, which is actually a fake objection. Like that's not the real thing. The real thing is the money.
And so you don't do any like I call that scarcity pricing, meaning like if you take
the fast action bonus. Yeah. Yeah, so like, if you take out our offer today, like we'll waive off the $1,000 setup fee,
Yeah.
and then that itself is sort of like to get them to act now, right? Because if they don't act now, they have to incur that $1,000 setup fee. But yeah, that thing is just one small thing, because like there are clients that even with the $1,000 setup fee, like they don't give a fuck, right? They're just
Yeah.
like whatever, right? Like because they don't see the value.
Oh yeah,
They don't
true.
see the value, so they don't really care for like the $1,000.
And so what do you think is lacking for them to see the value?
I think they're apprehensive because they have not done anything like it before. They are very stuck in their old ways of like, you know, traditional marketing, like cold calls or roadshows or door to door or like referrals and whatever. And they are so comfortable like living in their own shell of like relying on referrals that it makes it difficult for them to invest their money in something that's completely new like Facebook ads. And most importantly, I don't think it's because they don't believe me. It's because they don't believe themselves. Because it requires hard work. This thing is not like, oh, I get the funnel done up for you and then like suddenly like their business will explode with sales. Like it's about how do they condition their mindset and how do they make sure that with the leads that come in, they have a proper follow-up process, proper sales process, proper CRM, proper like everything in place to follow up with the leads. That's what I think it's about. Yeah, I don't think sales is like, a one call close. I don't think that's the way sales work. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm trying to keep it to that most of the time because, like the more it drags on, I mean, then it also comes down to the offer, but like most of the time, if the people are qualified, you just know, and it's just like, if they're qualified and they see the value, there's, the time action-based pricing, just like really help them take action and, help them implement as soon as possible.
Correct. By the way, like you didn't buy Sabri Subi's Quantum Growth, right? Did you?
No, I didn't.
Okay, you should. Yeah, I think that thing will help you a lot. Uh,
Yeah, actually,
is yeah.
are you familiar with Yasin?
Sorry, who?
Yasin I think he's in Quantum Growth. He's from France.
Let me try to find. I don't think so though. How do you spell his name?
Yassine.
Okay, I think he's not very active, right? Because I don't see him around. But let me see. Yasin Goose.
Yeah, that's him.
Okay. Oh, he joined quite early on.
Yeah, he actually introduced me to Sabri. He was like, yo, Sabri is the best. You need to look at his stuff. And I was like, okay. And then the next day I bought the book and read it.
Okay. But yeah, yeah, he's running an agency as well, right? Yasin.
Yeah.
Yeah, how's he doing?
I mean, he's doing pretty fine, but he told me lately that he was like just like stopping the agency because it was just like too time intensive. So I'm not sure what he's going to do at the moment.
Really? It's too time intensive?
Yeah, I guess he wants to move more to another model.
That's very interesting.
I mean, I guess you're familiar with Samovin sales, right?
Sorry?
Are you familiar with Samovins?
Who is that? I have no idea.
Whatever, but like basically, it's like for like consultant and all this, you get like this kind of model that says, like when you start, you do like done for you, then you do done with you, then you do you just
Do it yourself.
do it yourself, and then it's
Okay.
like coaching one-on-one, group coaching, and then info product. It's like the higher you go, the easier it is to scale because it's requiring less and less of your time.
Okay.
And I mean, it could make sense to me that, at some point the done for you just doesn't make sense because, you just spend a lot of time to generate revenue. Well, if you just had an info product, you could let it run pretty much, not all of it, but pretty much delegate it to your team. Don't not talk to any clients and, just have everything like running off hands.
Like it's evergreen, right? In a sense.
Yeah, I mean, like when you look at a guy like Peng Joon, obviously it's not evergreen because you need to constantly make new content, YouTube videos and all this. So it's another kind of hustle,
Yeah, yeah. I definitely think like it's a evolutionary thing. Like, we all start at the done for you level, right? And then at the done for you level, we can go to the done with you level, like the group coaching or whatever shit model you want to call it, okay? And then like it's the done do it yourself model, which is like the info product, right? Like, sell you the courses, that kind of thing. I think that's how any like online marketer like progresses if they are trying to sell like a digital marketing services.
Yeah.
I think
Do,
that's
do you s-
how Sabri does it as well, right?
do you
Like
see yourself
yeah.
do you see yourself moving to consulting or coaching or something?
Not until I hit the seven figures mark.
Yeah, I feel
So
like for
so
yeah.
yeah. So like Sabri recently like told me in one of like the quantum growth coaching calls, right? He's like, look, don't do anything else until you hit the seven figures mark. I was like, sorry, like, should I like downsell a course to people that want to buy my agency service but can't afford it? It's like, Jim, you're already making bank right now. Don't fucking do anything else until you hit the seven figures mark. Okay, he didn't say that word for it, but that was what he was trying to say. Okay, so I'll not do anything else until I hit seven figures per year. So yeah.
I mean, I definitely, agree with that. Like, while the coaching consulting model sounds good, I really want to, take the done for you agency to, like seven figures, and then maybe be like, okay, maybe right now, I'm going to just going to coaching, consulting, selling course. But yeah, I'm totally the same as you. I really want to push it to like seven figures, and have the struggle of like dealing with the team and like, client delivery. I don't know. It just feels like it builds you up.
Yeah. I think just do it like the same way that all these gurus have already done it, right? Like, or not even gurus, like online marketers have done it, right? Like you look at Peng Jun, like he started as a done for you service, and then he scaled it to the done with you, and then the do it yourself, right? And then same goes with like Sabri, like he started King Kong, and then it's doing a done for you service, and then he went to the done with you service, which is with his uh what was it, persuasion mastery course,
Hmm.
right? We Founder magazine or whatever, and then finally he launched his book, right, which is the do it yourself, right? And also like he has his quantum growth as well, which is the do it yourself. So,
Mm.
or actually, quantum growth is more like done with you because he has like a Facebook mastermind and all that kind of shit. So yeah,
Mm.
I
Yeah.
think that's how online marketers work, and that's what
Yeah.
I would also reverse engineer and do as well.
Yeah. I mean, it makes sense. Let's just see. I'm curious to see, what's the online marketing landscape is going to be in the next years, but there's no reason it's going to, drastically change too much. So,
I think it's always gonna be the same because like it's impossible to service all the demand like in the marketplace. Like you look at the number of businesses that has recently decided, not recently, but that has jumped online right now because of the COVID-19 pandemic. It's physically gonna be impossible to service all the businesses. So there will always be more demand than supply, and it really boils down to how you can do it, like from the done for you level to the done with you, then to the do it yourself, right? Because you're at such a high level that everyone wants to try to access you, but you can't. So you have to create a do it yourself product so that more people can get access to you.
mm, yeah.
That's what I think would work.
Yeah, we'll see. That's definitely going to be interesting, and I think it's going to be fun in the next years to see, like the people you've been like starting the agency road with, that stuff like, becoming super recognized in the scene, like, you know, I
Well,
could see. Oh wait, that's me. I could see you, like becoming as in like in coaching or something. Wait.
yeah, sorry, I didn't catch
Hello?
that.
How are you, man? Oh, damn. Excuse me, man.
Okay, no problems.
Yeah, sorry
All right.
about that, man.
Yeah, no problems.
Wait, what's playing?
No idea what is that.
I'm
Okay.
here.
Yeah,
Wait,
but
am I even
anyways,
hearing you?
wait, you can't hear me? Can you hear
Can you
me?
speak?
Yeah. Can you hear me? Mic test, mic test,
What's happening?
mic
I don't
test.
hear you.
Oh shit. Wait,
Speaker.
let me check. Mic test,
Oh,
mic
it's
test.
it's fine. Now I hear you.
That's fine?
Yeah,
Okay,
all
yeah.
good.
Yeah, so I think we kind of like pretty
Yeah,
much covered like quite a lot on like scaling and
I
digital
don't hear you
marketing.
anymore. What happened? Oh,
What?
damn! I know what happened. Snap. Okay. Damn thing.
Can you hear me now?
It's just like my computer just switched. Can you speak now?
Yeah, can you hear me now?
Yeah, perfect.
Right. Okay. Okay, cool.
What's happening?
Uh,
Just like constantly switching between AirPods and all that. Let me just close them. Can you speak?
yeah, can you hear me now? Mic
It's
test, mic
crazy,
test, mic
man.
test, mic test, mic test, mic test, mic test.
I think I hear you now.
Ready?
Yeah, I
Can
can.
you hear me now?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, so what I was saying earlier on, right, is that I think we dived quite deep into like digital marketing and scaling
Yeah.
agency. So to whoever is watching this, like I guess like all the best. So yeah. How long have you worked on your agency for?
So for over a year now, but it's changed quite a lot, over the past 6 to 9 months, I would say.
Okay.
How
I've
about you?
also worked on it for like 1 year. I
Yeah.
started last year in like I think November or December or so. But yeah.
Damn, that's cool, man.
Yeah. But you know, it is what it is. I think I need to be able to take it to the next level.
Yeah, I mean, man, I'm so happy, we got to get on this call, and just like exchange and all this. If you have any questions about YouTube or questions on how you could improve stuff, just shoot me a message. No sales pitch, no nothing. That'd be a pleasure to help you. And
Yeah, no problems, man. No problems. Like the first thing they're gonna do right after this is like probably try to upload this thing. Like that's why I need you to hand me the video.
mm,
So yeah. But all good, man. Yeah, yeah, it's all good. So just I mean, if you ever need help in SEO, I guess I'm here. But I think like SEO is really quite straightforward.
for
Like
you,
once you get
not for me.
no, it's really easy. Seriously, like it's like once you get the on-page SEO done, then you just get the off-page SEO done,
Yeah.
and you're really rock and roll. Like it's as simple as that.
Hmm. All right. I'll keep that in mind if I ever get into SEO.
But it's more applicable for like local businesses, I guess. Like
Oh.
if you want to do like the international market, it takes way too long for somebody to see results
Mm.
because of the competition.
Yeah.
That's why I think. So yeah, don't even bother with SEO unless like it's uh it's local. Yeah.
Let's see. All right. Thank you for your time, man. It was
Yeah,
a
no
pleasure.
problems. Yeah, it was as well. Like what time is it over at Hungary right now?
It's 3 p.m.
Okay, it's like freaking 10 p.m. now, over here. But yeah, no
Yeah.
worries. It's all good. I'll go make myself some tea and probably go to sleep soon.
All right.
Yeah.
Have a great evening, man.
Yeah. You too. Enjoy your afternoon.
Take care, Jim.
Okay. Take care, Kele. Take care.
Bye bye.
Okay. Bye bye.